Joining me here in New York on set now is one of those attorneys general, California's Rob Bonta. Mr. Attorney General, it's great to see you.
Thanks for having me. Honored to be here.
Two Californians in New York.
That's right. Love it.
Let's just start with this lawsuit. The judge essentially ruled that everything Trump wanted to do in the executive order was unlawful. How do you see the ruling, first of all? Just curious.
Very sound, tracks our arguments. Trump issued 2 executive orders trying to add additional restrictions on the right to vote throughout the country, whether it be creating a citizenship list that prevents certain vote-by-mail ballots from arriving to a voter or being filtered out after the voter cast their ballot, or adding additional documentary proof of citizenship requirements, or even saying that timely cast vote-by-mail ballots don't count. What the court said is what we argued, which is that the president does not have the right to do this. It is not within his constitutional authority. Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution clearly says, the Elections Clause, that the time, place, and manner of elections shall be determined by the states and to some degree Congress, but not the president. So he's trying to exercise authority he does not have. We stopped him from doing that. He has tried time and time again to undermine the right to vote, to disenfranchise voters, whether it be asking the Georgia state election officials to find 11,000 more votes, or seizing ballots in Fulton County, or fueling the January 6th attack on the certification of the election of Joe Biden, who was elected president of the United States. This is more of the same. It's desperate, it's dangerous, it's reckless, and we stopped him yet again.
Including, by the way, in our own municipal elections in Los Angeles, where I live, and he sent officials from the U.S. Attorney's Office to the office in the City of Industry of the Los Angeles County Recorder and Clerk to conduct a so-called quote-unquote investigation into the results of the governor's race and the mayoral election there. Do you know anything have you heard from your federal counterparts about whether or not there's actually an investigation going on into what happened in Los Angeles, where the results are thorough and accurate and fair and now have finally been certified?
Absolutely. You know, in California, we count every ballot. We make sure that it's accurate. We go through the sometimes time-consuming process of ensuring every vote is counted, and it's completely transparent the whole time. You can go visit if you want to watch the vote counting process. There's a live feed, so people can log on to watch it. And it was very on brand for Trump to have horses in the race, people that he wanted to win, and then to basically take the position he's taken in the past, which is that if we win, the election was fair. If me or the people that I support lose, it was rigged. And so he was suggesting that again. I don't know what's happening with any investigations. There's been no evidence of any widespread voter fraud. Every count, recount, hand count, audit, court case has shown that. But Trump continues to make this a figment of his imagination. He's delusional in this respect, and he advances conspiracy theories in this regard.
I know you're waiting for the Supreme Court to rule on the birthright citizenship case, and you were actually there in early April at the Supreme Court for the oral arguments when Donald Trump became the first sitting president in the history of the United States of America to show up at the Supreme Court for an oral argument. What was that like? How close were you to Trump?
I was in the same row as President Trump. It was the first time he had sitting president had ever attended a Supreme Court oral argument. So people were curious, they were interested. There was a lot of folks stealing glances over at him throughout the oral argument. I was guilty of that as well, checking to see what he was doing. Honestly, he looked a little bored. I was trying to imagine what he was thinking. I was thinking maybe he's like, what is all this talk about the law that creates speed bumps on the way to me advancing my agenda? I have to comply with all this stuff they're talking about. But it was clear from the oral argument that he's going to lose this case. We feel confident about that. It's only a matter of what the count of the judges will be. Will it be 5-4, 6-3, 7-2, something else? But I was gratified that he got to personally witness what I believe will be a defeat on one of his major initiatives, where he was unlawfully trying to unilaterally amend the U.S. Constitution. The president cannot do that.
I'm so glad you're here, because I wanted to talk to you about a report this week by Puck that said regarding this Paramount-Warner Brothers merger that you would want Paramount to sell CNN. And Matthew Maloney reports that, quote, if a court won't block the entire transaction, CNN has a strong consolation prize. As you, Rob Bonta, potentially another blue state AG's mull a high-profile antitrust lawsuit. Is this true? What can you tell us about this?
I don't know where that comes from, to be honest. There's been a lot of opining about what I'm thinking or what I'm saying or what I'll do, and I have no idea where it comes from. I know a lot of people are interested in this transaction and what my office will do, and what we will do is what I've always said. We are investigating. transaction has not cleared regulatory scrutiny. There are red flags in the air everywhere. We're concerned. We're concerned about job loss and prices being increased and lack of quality and choice for consumers. And so we're looking, and we'll decide timely what we're going to do. But I'm not sure what the origin of that is. We expect more opining that may not be tethered to the truth, but we're just head down focused on an antitrust, fair but firm and comprehensive analysis, and we'll make a decision in the coming weeks.
How much is what's played out at CBS in terms of CBS News and the editorial independence of that organization affected the way that you are looking at CNN potentially coming under the same umbrella?
You know, we have to be concerned about that. We're not naive. We see what's happening in the world, and I have always been a supporter of the independent free press as a critical guardrail in our democracy. That needs to continue. But our analysis is a straight-up antitrust analysis. That's our lane. That's our focus. We will do an antitrust analysis here and make a decision based on that analysis.
The Attorney General of the great state of California, Rob Montes, great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.